So we initially didn't want to make this video.
Idiot! You're getting a parcel for that? Are you a baby? Because it's bleeding! It's bleeding!
They say family makes you stronger, unless that family is fighting for clout, brand deals, and the algorithm's love. Some siblings grow together, others go viral, tearing each other apart. And on YouTube, it's always on camera. You've got brothers who prank each other into handcuffs, sisters who go from dancing on Vine to dodging cancellation, and families that feel more like reality shows than households. So today, let's talk about the most loved and the most hated YouTuber siblings, the ones we root for, the ones we roast, and the ones who somehow do both at the same time. Let's start with the Chaos Kid himself, iShowSpeed, and his younger brother Jamal. If you've ever seen Speed stream, you know it's like watching caffeine turn human. Screaming, barking, celebrating, chaos is oxygen to this guy. But when Jamal enters the frame, everything shifts a little. Suddenly, it's not just another live stream, it's family energy. The kind where you can feel the bond and the teasing at the same time. Fans love their chemistry because it feels raw, unscripted, and weirdly wholesome, even when they're pretending to fight. But that chaos has a cost. Jamal's still a teenager, and sometimes being Speed's brother means carrying baggage you didn't ask for. When your siblings' controversies hit the internet, you don't just scroll past them, you live them. You walk into school and kids quote your brother's live streams to your face. That's the price of sharing a spotlight you never signed up for. And yet, Jamal stays loyal, showing up in Speed's videos, rolling with the punches, and always ending with a laugh. It's that mix, love, tension, and humor that keeps people watching. They're messy, sure, but they're real. Now, if we're talking real, let's bring up the UK's most famous family feud, KSI and Deji. These two went from gaming together in their bedrooms to literally throwing punches on pay-per-view. Back in the early days, their videos were hilarious chaos. FIFA, challenges, loud arguments, and brotherly insults that felt like love wrapped in static. But fame changes gravity. The higher they climbed, the heavier their egos got. When Deji started boxing, KSI tried to help, but advice started sounding like control. And soon, every sibling argument turned into a public headline. Their fans were caught in the middle, some siding with the older, composed KSI, others defending Deji, the underdog who always felt overshadowed. It was like watching a family therapy session broadcast to millions. The saddest part? You could tell there was love under all that noise. But sometimes pride speaks louder than affection, especially when a camera's rolling. If you've ever fought with your sibling, you know that mix of guilt and stubbornness. Now imagine that, multiplied by 20 million subscribers. On the opposite side of the chaos spectrum, we've got a pair who built their empire on pure positivity, the Stokes twins. Two identical smiles, matching outfits, clean-cut pranks. For years, they were the poster boys of harmless fun, and then they crossed the invisible line every prankster eventually flirts with, the line between funny and what were you thinking? Their bank robbery prank is infamous now. Fake duffel bags, fake cash, real cops. What was supposed to be a harmless bit turned into a full-blown police incident. It's wild how fast viral can become criminal. The craziest part, even after the backlash, people still tune in. Why? Because there's something about sibling duos that gives audiences hope for redemption. Viewers love a comeback story almost as much as a controversy. The twins leaned into that, cleaned up their image, and started giving back to the community. But that one video will always shadow them. Proof that even the most family-friendly creators can have a reckless streak. Now swing the pendulum all the way to calm, collected, and nearly scandal-proof Dude Perfect's Corey and Kobe, the twin engineers of trick shots and friendly chaos. You'll never see them yelling at each other in a vlog or exposing each other on Twitter. Instead, they built an empire out of foam darts, basketballs, and blindfolded challenges. Their sibling dynamic is the kind you'd actually want in your house. Supportive, competitive, but always ending in a laugh. Kobe's the one who kept losing for years and somehow became a fan favorite for it. When he finally won, the internet exploded with joy. That's the difference between content and connection. Fans didn't just watch, they felt it. There's no drama, no ego wars, just a group of guys making wholesome chaos work. In a landscape full of scandals and apology videos, Dude Perfect feels like that one stable family everyone wishes they had. It's almost suspicious how drama-free they are. Like, are they secretly fighting over ping-pong balls off camera? We may never know. Speaking of balance, let's talk about the world's biggest YouTuber and his not-so-famous brother, Mr. Beast and Mr. Bro. Imagine growing up next to the internet's ultimate golden child, a guy who casually gives away islands, cars, and entire neighborhoods while you're just trying to figure out what thumbnail face to make. That's CJ's reality. The man literally shared a childhood bedroom with the algorithm itself. When CJ launched Mr. Bro, the expectations were insane. He wasn't just a new YouTuber, he was Mr. Beast's brother, which sounds flattering until you realize it's a creative death sentence. His first few videos followed Jimmy's blueprint perfectly. Challenge-based, loud, high stakes, and drenched in the same upbeat chaos. And at first, the audience was kind. People were curious, supportive even. Hey, another beast in the making. But curiosity fades fast on YouTube. The honeymoon lasted maybe a few uploads before the comment sections turned into roast sessions. Discount Mr. Beast, Mr. Budget, Beast Light. You could almost feel the pressure leaking through the screen. That's the curse of sibling fame. You get attention overnight, but it's borrowed, not earned. Every view comes with a silent comparison, and every video becomes a test you didn't ask to take. CJ wasn't failing as a creator, he was losing a battle against an impossible standard. How do you compete with someone who literally changed the YouTube economy? So instead of chasing that shadow forever, CJ did something unexpected. He stopped. No public meltdown, no I quit video, just quiet. And weirdly, that silence spoke volumes. It was almost poetic. The brother of the loudest YouTuber on earth choosing peace over pressure. For once, he wasn't trying to be the next Mr. Beast, he was just CJ. And maybe that was the smartest move he ever made. But for every quiet exit, there's a Brent Rivera moment waiting to happen. Brent and Lexi started out as the picture-perfect siblings of the internet, matching smiles, goofy pranks, harmless challenges, and that clean bubblegum aesthetic that made parents say, "See, not all YouTubers are bad influences." Their early videos had genuine charm, Lexi laughing uncontrollably, Brent hamming it up for the camera, the kind of family energy that felt effortless. Then, somewhere between the 10th stage prank and the 50th caught in 4K thumbnail, the illusion cracked. Suddenly, people weren't laughing with Brent, they were laughing at him. The copying accusations rolled in, other creators started calling him out, and those perfect smiles began to look a little too polished. The breaking point came when a smaller YouTuber confronted Brent in public, asking if his videos were fake. Instead of laughing it off like the carefree guy he built his brand on, Brent flipped the switch. Security got involved. The energy turned tense. It felt less like a lighthearted influencer moment and more like watching ego in high definition. That one clip spread faster than any of his skits ever did. Overnight, Brent went from the funny big brother of YouTube to that guy who can't take a joke. Lexi, on the other hand, managed to dodge the fallout almost completely. Maybe it's her chill vibe, maybe she just knows when to log off, but she kept her fan base intact while Brent became meme material. And that's what's wild about fame, it can split siblings in half. One becomes the golden child, the other the lightning rod. They still film together, still smile, still pull the same pranks, but the audience sees through the gloss. Now, the comment section doesn't scream "so funny OMG" anymore. It sighs, "this feels fake." And in YouTube terms, that's the real heartbreak, because the moment your audience stops believing you, no amount of perfect lighting can bring the magic back. And then there's the heavyweight division, the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan. These two practically invented influencer chaos. They started as the Disney kids who went rogue, turned Vine fame into YouTube empires, and then decided the only logical next step was boxing random celebrities. Jake's controversies are legendary. The wild parties, the noise complaints, the reckless stunts, the fiery ego. Logan, on the other hand, found his redemption arc. Podcast host, wrestler, business mogul. It's like one brother became the villain and the other became the apology tour. But here's the twist. People love them both, just differently. Jake gets hate-watched. He's the guy you tune in to see crash the system. Logan gets cautious respect. He's proof that internet villains can evolve. Together, they're the perfect YouTube yin and yang. One thrives on chaos, the other on control. Love them or hate them, they've shaped what sibling fame looks like in the algorithm age. And maybe that's the point. Every sibling duo we've talked about represents a different formula. Speed and Jamal are raw authenticity. KSI and Deji are public rivalry. Dude Perfect's twins are teamwork. Mr. Beast and Mr. Bro are pressure versus peace. Brent and Lexi are image versus identity. The Stokes twins are redemption arcs with bad judgment. And the Pauls, pure spectacle. What makes some siblings most loved isn't perfection, and it's chemistry. You can fake a prank, but you can't fake connection. Viewers pick up on who's acting and who's actually vibing. When two siblings can tease each other, argue, laugh, and still show up next week, that's real. What makes others most hated isn't even their mistakes, it's their refusal to own them. Internet audiences forgive almost anything, except arrogance. At the end of the day, YouTube siblings are just digital reflections of real ones. Some fight and forgive, some fight and forget. Some build empires, others burn bridges. But one thing's for sure, they'll always keep giving us something to talk about. Because no matter how crazy the internet gets, family drama will always trend. If you made it this far, you're definitely one of the real ones. Drop a like, share it with your favorite sibling, and I'll catch you in the next one.